Wow. Okay. Well, this is a interesting video. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy, Young Senpai, Terminal, or whatever name I go by this week. This video might be a little bit triggering to some people, so watch it with some caution. So, listen. There's a huge thing going on right now with Funimation, one of the biggest anime production companies out there right now. Apparently, much of the crew and the Dragon Ball Z cast has been caught recording their characters saying homophobic comments, making jokes about incest, and much more, including actors, and all this is done by the actors Sean Schimmel, Chris Sabat, and I believe the voice of Chi-Chi, Cynthia Kranz. But I could be wrong on that one. There's also been a lot of reports, or one report from someone who I'll get into later, that Chris Sabat's been hosting these like casting couches, and if you don't know what a casting couch is, it's basically a way of for directors and casting directors and just people like that to say, oh, if you don't have sex with me, if you don't sleep with me, then you're not going to get the job, you're not going to get the role, you're not going to get the gig that you want. All of this is coming out on top of the Vic Mignogna situation, which, if you don't know about that, it's basically Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and I forget who else. And I think like a couple YouTubers or whatever, saying basically, oh, Vic Mignogna, who's the voice of Broly from Dragon Ball, he's Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, etc., etc., saying that he basically like forced him into sexual situation, was pulling their hair, and all these other horrible things. But it turns out that, there's been no proof, no nothing. So a lot of us are kind of like, oh, well, he's got it. They've got to be lying. Because they've had no proof, they've had no nothing. And when they gave their disposition in court, it didn't really seem like, oh, they're telling the truth. And Vic had spot on answers for everything. So this whole situation has been very interesting. Whew. So for them to not only be caught lying, whatever that situation is, and then now to have this whole thing stacked on top of it, which Chris Sabat was involved in the whole Vic Mignogna thing, basically like defending Monica and saying, oh, these women are telling the truth, they're strong, etc., etc., but apparently they're not really telling the truth. On top of all of this, the cherry for me, the cherry on top of this shit sundae, is that the one who exposed the truth was Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17. Now, that might not be much, but it's just hilarious to me that it's him who did it. Like, you got anyone who could have did it from Funimation, but it was him, like, an actor on the show. And he was like, you know what, F all you guys, I'm gonna do this myself. It's like, it's kind of crazy to me to think that like so many of the people that I've looked up to and that so many of us have looked up to are actually people that none of us should. Like they've lied, they've forced people into sexual situations, and like so many more things that we probably don't even know about. I One of the key things I think we should all try to remember at this point is Chris Sabat and who knows who else is just as bad as like Harvey Weinstein and just people who do that. Like that's not okay. Like, oh, if you want to get this job, if just for example, if you want to get the role of Deku, just or Kakashi, for example, if you want to get the role of Kakashi, you have to sleep with me. You have to engage in sexual intercourse and sleep with me. I mean that's horrible. That is blackmail. That is disgusting. It doesn't matter how many years ago this was, because this is such a horrible thing. And for me, this whole situation is, and I'm sure there's plenty of others who agree with me, is kind of disturbing because so many times in my life I've wanted to be like these guys. I've wanted to get into voice acting, and I still do. And you want to voice these characters that people can look up to, and people who can you can be someone that people like. Not so much like, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, you can be have so many fans who look up to your character and say, "Oh, this character is someone I can draw inspiration from. They're strong, they're etc., etc." Right? So for me to have these voice actors voicing these characters that so many people have looked up to, like Goku, Vegeta, uh, nobody looks up to these ones, but Yamcha, Kami, Mr. Popo, Shenron, all these people from Dragon Ball, and that's just their Dragon Ball roles alone. For people, or for these people to exploit their power and manipulate people based on what power they have, and then go out there and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the voice of Goku. I'm a great guy. I can do this and that." And it's like, no, you're a manipulative piece of shit. Vegeta is even worse. So, I mean, on top of like all this, it's kind of disappointing, and it makes me feel like anime is like, especially Funimation. But if this doesn't affect all anime, it's going to be very surprising to some degree. So I feel like to have this situation involved with one of the biggest anime companies is going to be very detrimental, kind of, I guess that's the right word, to the situation. But hopefully, anime in America and anime overall doesn't take a huge hit from this. Like, because there's other anime production companies, I think Ocean maybe still does it, but they're from Canada. Or they're either from Canada or California. It's both the same to me. I'm Trust me, I'm not from either. I've never been there. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.